shit, we're back at it again. Glad you made it. It's another social production. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome back. It is June the 2nd, 2023, baby. We're doing it. We are what? January, February, March, April, May, 6th. That's the 6th month of the year, man. Holy smokes. We are definitely halfway through the year. Hella excited. Thank you for joining me once again. If it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, dropped on Instagram in portion and segments in parts because we got to chop it up. If you like the full-length videos, check out Gladyamadeit or Rob Sadri on where? YouTube's. Check out patreon.com/Rob Sadri if you'd like to physically support the show. But besides that, if you've been with me from the get-go, sending all the love right back at you, and we're just snowballing. We are growing each and every day. It is exciting. I'm just grateful to be alive, kicking it amongst these beautiful people all around the world today. And today's gonna be it's gonna be a loose day, as per usual, man. You're like, if it's your first time, like, what do we do around? We talk about everything and nothing under the beautiful sun. And I hope you're doing well wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's here in Canada, United States, Mexico, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, Sweden, Algeria, Serbia, Thailand, Zimbabwe, Congo, Senegal, Ivory Coast, aka Cote d'Ivoire. What? Where are you at, fam? Hope you're all doing well. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, we have fun around here, and today's it's gonna be man, I'm just feeling, it's feelings today. It's feelings, because a lot of times it's trying to find that balance between the thoughts and the feelings, and today I just felt feelings. I've been feeling feelings for some time now, and I ain't even really, a lot of things happen. Time passes by, and you you try to be in the moment, you try to, but also you don't want to, you want to also keep going. So that's a thing, and we're all doing the same thing, different but same thing. Everybody's doing their thing. But that's the thing, man. I just looked back, and again, if you've been with me from the get-go, this is I didn't even realize we just went over 500 videos. Holy smokes, man. We are reaching almost 3 years now that it's these are all just I'm very grateful. I just feel like a little green baby, a little large green baby in the game of comedy, and wanting to go out there and get better at stand-up. That's my goal. That's what it is, man. But 500 videos, I haven't even, man, how did we even get here? So today's a little bit it feels good. I'm very grateful. How did we get here? We'll start off from short videos just in the car between you, me, and the world, or at least the World Wide Web. Some of you guys and gals I get to see out on the streets, or maybe here and there, or at a comedy club. Hopefully more so than before moving forward, but that's what it is, man. But 500 videos, I wasn't paying attention to it or anything, but I just saw the numbers the other. I'm like, oh man, and I'm happy about it. This is fantastic. I'm very grateful. Thank you again. If you've been with me, if it's your first time, this is, you're getting to come inside, you're allowing me, thank you for the permission, to basically step in your mind, but also you're stepping into my mind. It's like we're exchanging minds. It's meeting of the minds is essentially what this is. And I thought about it. It feels great. This is, once again, just the beginning. We're not slowing down. We're not changing pace whatsoever. I'm just it's one of the it's important to me. This is very important to me because we get a chance to build some it's a little bit of a community. It's like a family. It means something to me, and I genuinely, my biggest goal is to come in here and make y'all's laugh. Maybe you'll hear something that'll be like, oh, that's an interesting thought, or that's a weird thought, that's a doozy of a thought, man. And that's what it is sometimes, and it's first time doing all this. This is all we're learning as we go along, trying to, it feels a little bit man, I'm not gonna lie, it feels like mind porn, if that makes any sense, because I feel like I'm exposing, I'll get into it. It feels like mind porn because it's you're exposing all your inner thoughts, all the thoughts, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and all of it, and you just put it out there. You're like, here's a piece of my brains. Have some brains. Have some mind. But don't mind me. Have some of this. And it's interesting, man. It is interesting to view. The biggest thing for me was like, and you know, sometimes you gotta like just be like, just for sake of reflection, just to see where we're at, where we started from, where we're going, you know, and always keeping certain things intact, but also implementing change whenever needed. But certain things, the OG reasons of why we started doing it, why I started doing this, is mainly it was a selfish reason, because I likes to have a good time. I likes to laugh. I love comedy. I started off as a comedy fan. I love stand-up. I love stand-up. I love podcasts. I love comedies. I love all sorts of art and entertainment, really. But this is, once again, it's once you start doing something, and again, I'm just a little green fella, green baby with a lot of, you know, just desire, passion for the game, a lot of love, a lot of respect, a lot of admiration, and that's what I'm just feeling grateful. I'm thankful for the fact that we've come along this far. Did I think we're gonna, I didn't have any sort of plans initially, honestly, starting. So, you know, it's just, and not to say, it's, you know, I'm not trying to like, it feels cool. That's all for me anyway. And I hope anybody out there who's either been with me from the get-go, or you just happen to like join in and you're like, oh, what is this? This is a little silly little podcast that we do around here. And hopefully it'll just, you know, my aim is to get better at it and grow at it, and hopefully be involved with more people, get more people involved if that may be possible. But that's what it is, man. It feels a little bit like mind porn, which is interesting. It's interesting because that's what it is, man. You put it out there, and it's nude brains. It's like, oh, there's a nude brain right there. That's a naked brain, right? It's raw. Touch it. It's a nude brain. You won't touch it, but like, and I'm not asking you to touch my brain, dude. Don't be going touching my brain. Where can you touch my brain if you wanted to? Like from ear, I would assume like easy access through the ears, through the nostrils, maybe through the mouth, if you want to tickle my brain. I'm not asking for it. I'm not suggesting anybody does that, but I'm just saying that it's out there. And it feels good because it's allowed me to, I guess, learn a whole lot about myself and other people as well. A lot of times learning from other people is the greatest gift because it's out there, and it's like, and that's the beauty of this time that we live in, man. There's so many people. I wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for so many wonderful folks out there, the men's and the ladies who've been doing it, started it all, who've paved the path. And that's the thing, you can you know, we all have, and that's what I realized. It just takes all of us to do this little dance, to do this little tango. I feel a little bit like, just want to put that on. Very grateful and very thankful for anybody who's been a part of this. I also have, again, in terms of learning, I've gained a whole new appreciation for really I was always a fan of the arts and the farts from the get-go, but, you know, until you start doing something, you know, in terms of entertainment, really, entertainers, I have a newfound appreciation for any format, really, at this point, because yeah, it's one thing when you see something, but it's another once you start doing something and then you gain that extra level of appreciation. So I'm like, man, the people who've been doing it, people who started it, who've been doing it for many years, who are masters at their craft, who are, you know, killing it. But it's really neat to see that. And yeah, I've definitely, it's been a humbling experience, I'll say that, because you have your preconceived notions about anything that you're unfamiliar with, and you step into it thinking it's something, and some of it may be the things that you thought they were, but some of it's definitely going to be different. You'll be out there just getting surprised. You're like, oh man, I know this about this fella, I know this about this lady, which is, again, sometimes relatable to yourself. Sometimes you can draw parallels. Sometimes you can be like, oh man, I can learn from this. And it's really neat, man. So I'm just excited to be doing it. We are at, I don't even know how many videos are up there now. You can, if you're just joining in, you're like, man, I wonder, where would I be? You can start from the beginning if you like. You can hop in anytime right now. In the beginning, I'll tell you one thing, if I'm being straight up honest, and even now, I still don't really know. I don't have like, you know, there's never an agenda. There's never really a plan of any, so I like the main focus is to have fun, have the laughs, have the giggles, talk about this, that, and the other. But there's, yeah, in the beginning it was definitely, man, it was I like to think we're making progress in terms of it getting better. I like to think of this program as just a different version of a wine, a fine wine, which ages and gets better and better with time. That's what I like to think of this show, and other things that also age and get better. Think about that. Whatever ages and gets better. Boys and girls, but that's what I wanted to. It just felt a little bit like something that I want to put out there. It's just a sense of appreciation, and I'm looking forward to, hitting the road, getting to know other people, going out there, learning more. And that's one of the biggest things I've always wanted out of life. I've always had this deep desire to learn and grow. It's important to me, and I'm always searching for new experiences. I don't really care for much else. I'm not a, it's, yeah, I really enjoy genuinely human interactions and the human experience, what goes on in our minds, what goes on in our physical realm, what's happening when we interface, the exchange of ideas, exchanges of, dialogue, conversation, and people hearing each other out, and this is, and there's all sorts of topics that we are always constantly talking about and trying to make it better. It's really neat just to see different perspectives, and I'm always catching myself learning. I'm like, man, you thought this thing was that thing. You had your, and it's really neat to go out and and then as soon as you encounter it, and this is what I like about this, because it allows you to allows me at least to verbalize thoughts, because you sometimes write shit down, sometimes you think it to yourself, but once you say it out loud, there's a different layer to that. Once you put it out there, there's a different, there's something to that, and then you catch yourself, and then you might be like, yeah, this idea was a great idea. Or you might catch yourself and be like, hey man, this idea right here, I like this idea, I like this version of it better. And that's how I try to I never hold on to any thoughts, and these are just if anything, this is just an exercise of speaking out loud, really, for your boy anyway. I'm not anybody else out there who's been doing it, who is doing it, who's, there's so many different ways of doing things. This is just my version of it. I don't have any, I'm just learning, dude. I'm just excited. Like I said, green little fella, just a green little, not little, just the average size green fella out there, but I feel good about it. It feels really cool, because it feels like, again, it's given me the opportunity to commit to something which I'm passionate about, which was, it takes different people, some people find their passions, their, desires, some people might call it a calling or whatever, you might find that earlier in life. Some people might find it a little bit later in life, and that's cool too. But at the end of the day, I'm extremely glad that I found something that I love to do, because it makes coming in and doing this a joy, and it doesn't really even feel like work. I can literally do this, which I probably will till the wheels come off, and that is in centuries, thanks to modern science and medicine. Hopefully, we'll see. We got a whole lot of decades. Let's just, if we're playing it safe, a whole lot of decades. And yeah, man, this is literally just the beginning. I have no intention of slowing down. I have no intention of stopping. There's no stoppage in baseball. There's no stoppage in life. There's the ultimate stoppage, which, but we're nowhere near close to that shit, because this shit's fresh out the vag. That's how fresh it is. Not that fresh. It's been out. We've been out the batch. We've been out the batch, but it's not. It's not it's been some time. But how do you even gauge how the freshness of the product that is out of the vag? It's been many a years. I've been out the vag for many a years. I'm just saying, but it's not it hasn't been it's not 8 decades or 9 decades out the vag. It's, relatively speaking, just in decade terms, it's 3 decades, dude. What's up? That's 3 of anything. What's even 3 of anything? You know what I mean? So relatively fresh out the vag, and definitely fresh out the vag into comedy. If That in itself is a badge. Relatively green, whatever, dude. You know what I'm saying? So it feels good to be out here doing things. Again, I really appreciate everybody who's been doing it. So many legends that I admire. So many people who've been doing it, who are consistently doing it right now, killing it. They're, many names come to mind, and I'm not gonna name them because that would be a long list. I hopefully will, but that's what it is. There are many names that come to mind, but if I were to go through them and then you're like, oh, what about, and then you might miss a person. You're like, what about that person? And then you're like, that person too, of course, yes. So overall, if you're a stand-up comic, male, female, black, white, straight, gay, les, bi, tri, midget, a dwarf, a blind comic, a deaf comic, a blind and deaf comic, a blind, deaf, half black, half midget, half Asian, quarter Middle Eastern, 10% Hispanic, 1% Igloo. Point is that if you're part of that comedy, stand-up comedy community, whether it's your first day or you've been doing it, or whether it's your whatever day, love you. Thank you for all the love and support. It means a lot because for somebody who, it's given me purpose. It's given me a lot of. It's given me an opportunity to grow and concentrate on something that I love, and I'm deeply in gratitude, and I just appreciate all you guys and gals out there. And that's what it is. Who knows? Some of our paths might cross in the future. Who knows? Because this world is full of surprises, ladies and gents. You never know whose paths are gonna cross. And that's what it is, baby boys, baby girls. That's what we do around here. A lot of exciting things are, of course, happening in and around the world today. I don't really have, today I just felt a little bit like it's been some time that we've had one of these a little bit more emotional talks. And I'm a big, I'm a deep down inside, not too deep, but relative, it's all emo, it's all emotional shit. It's all it's just, and that's what I find about all of us. At the end of the day, if you sit down and chat with somebody, everybody's got all these thoughts and emotions, and I like to be in touch. I like to touch my emotions. I like to, there is that feeling right there. Grab it, honka honka, squeeze it. What is it? And that's just emotions and feelings. But that's I'm genuinely I take a lot in. In terms of, I guess we all do, not just, but I'm speaking for myself, so I don't even know how to say it. It's just we all, I'm an emotional fellow. And that's what I take from interactions, whatever sort of interaction. I feel a lot is essentially what I'm saying. I feel a lot, and it's been I like to think of it as a gift. I like to think of it as, I don't look at it any other way, because it's gives me an opportunity to interact with people, and everybody does this, and everybody that, but I don't know, it's hard to gauge how much do you feel as comparison to the next person. But overall, just saying, very appreciative of people in general, and whatever you're doing out there, I'm sure if it's you're looking for that thing to find out there, you will find it, whether it's a career, whether it's a love life of sorts, and those are things that we all juggle simultaneously at different stages of life. Whether you found one or the other, or both, or other things that you're looking to find, you will definitely find it out there. If you've already found it and you're like, this thing's been great, but let's start anew, kick rocks, dude, or whatever, you start anew or whatever. I'm just saying it's an amazing opportunity. If you're alive and kicking out there, it's a beautiful day out here in Toronto. Anywhere else in the world, I don't know what you're dealing with in terms of temp and climate, but I hope it's treating you well. I hope it's I hope it's sunny wherever you are. And it is, it's exciting times. And that's the thing I found doing this. There's just so much nuance to life. If anything, I found a lot of nuance in things. I just, the more I get a chance to speak about things, or even think about things, jot ideas down, and try to come up with jokes about them, the more I find, because that's what it is. You find any topic, there's always like it's hardly ever will you find something that everybody agrees 100% that this is this thing. It's always like, oh, it could be that thing. Could be, and that's what I like. I like finding the nuance in things. And right now, it's what month are we in? It's June. It is officially Pride Month, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it started with a day, then extended to a week, then it became a month. Which is, it's that time, baby. It's that time. If you're gay out there, if you're les, if you're bi, if you're tri, if you're trans, if you're all the other stuff, this month's your month. And you don't get any other months besides this month, all right? It's just June, all right? Because I think that's how it works. I think that's the negotiation. They sat down at a table, communities, and they're like, I think what they do is they don't practice their life for 11 months and then 1 month of just hardcore dick to dick action, dude. That's cock to cock for a month straight up. So I think if you don't see too many people out there, you see a couple of fellas missing from your crew, guess what's happening? This is dick to dick action, because you can only do it in June, dude. You can only do it in June. Same with the lesbians, dude. Lesbians right now, you're like, man, I used to have a bunch of neighbors that were lesbians. I don't see them. It's the only month that they get. It's the only, no other month during the year does anybody get to. If you're a lesbian out there and you're like, man, I can't believe we signed up for that and we agreed to this, because now we only get to scissor for only the month of June, and it's hard to not scissor for the rest of the year, but like scissor hard for 1 month. If I was going dick to dick or scissor, and if I had a labia and it was my month, I'd use lots of lube. Baby powder, I don't even know, dude, because a month of just lube and baby powder, I think that's just a perfect concoction for a yeast infection and probably some sort of topical fungal situation that might occur. But that's I don't know who did the negotiation on getting 1 month of 1 month of straight up hardcore, 1 month of just dick to dick, dude, and scissoring. I don't know why it's called scissor, because there's no cutting involved. I'll say that there's no cutting involved. We've never seen it. It'd be nice if lesbians did scissor and they actually cut stuff as well simultaneously, a piece of paper. You're printing bills at the bill printing factory because it's like time to raise the debt ceiling or whatever, dude. So let's crank out more monies or something. I don't even know, but then you need to because they get printed out in large sheets of paper. And the more you print, the more cutters you need. Bring in the lesbians with the scissoring because they're good at it. I think they're good at a lot of things. Because they're people. They're people first. That's what it is, man. So yeah, it is. It's that month. I don't know how I feel about it. Because again, nuance, right? Because at one point I'm like, it feels to me it's similar vibes to like Black History Month. I feel like everybody should just be like, if you want to quote unquote treat people and normalize things, then designating a month to not allowing them to have their lifestyle for 11 months and then designating in 1 month for lifestyle and biology seems a little bit of it feels like a little bit of an oxymoron. It feels a little bit of because that's what it is. You should be, same with Black History. I feel like it's like it should just be like sprinkled in reg history, and it should just be human history instead of like, let's ignore for 11 months and then designate, it should just be all one history. It should just be like, human history, because we're no. I again see what I mean. This is what I mean. Do we talk about it? I don't know. What do you guys and gals out there think? Do you think it should be? Do you think we should designate a month for groups and single them out and point to them, point at them with our indexes, double index. Ha ha! Right there, dude. Right there, that guy. That's, should we, because if one community gets, if a few communities get a month, then other communities should get months. And I just don't think we have enough months to give to each community. And it's like, how do you prioritize months, and which groups do you give them to? Like, because so if we have Black History Month, then we should have then White History Month, and also Brown History Month. And if I didn't agree to this color scheme, by the way. These are not my things. I'm just saying based on collective thought and practice, we've designated colors which are really off in terms of it's like one of those things where they show you a color. You guys know what I'm talking about, where they show you a color but the word underneath is actually different than the color, and you're supposed to read them really fast, and it plays tricks on you. Like, it's an orange colored circle, but down there it says yellow, and then you're supposed to say, well, it's orange, and you read yellow, and you're looking at it, you're like, yellow, but it's orange. Or you know what I'm talking about, or it's orange, but it's See what I mean? Because it's not like black is not white is not white, and yellow is not yellow, and green's not, because they're there's olive skinned people and shit. What a bunch of weirdos those guys are. Am I right, everybody? So do we, if we have Black History Month, and then we have to have, I guess, White History Month, and then Brown History Month, and then Yellow History Month. Again, not my decision to go based on colors of I'm not, I enjoy vibrant colors like anybody else. Red History Month, and what about albinos? Where they fall? Because they're fluorescent almost. Some of the, so so I'm just saying. And if you have the LGBTQ whatever's, it's too many, I can't remember all of them. It is, that's what it is. Too long. It's supposed to be an acronym. If an acronym is longer than the actual, that, you're defeat. Again, it's just once the acronym gets too long, it starts to sound like a word, but it doesn't make any sense because it's all random. But the point is, if you have a month designated to dick to dick, vag to vag, butt to butt, those are really all the mouth to butt, mouth to D. The D stands for dick. If you were what's the D? Cack. Mouth to that. The combos are really very limited combos that we're all working with here. Really, that's the whole point. Limited combos. So all this we gotta what is this? It's humanness is what it is. But again, if you designate a month to a group for D to D or V to V. V is for vag, again, in case because I don't want any discrepancies. I don't want anybody oh, V is for Victor. No, it's not, dude. We all know what it is. So then do we give a month to straight sex, just pure peen to vag, just classical missionary, dude. Parades. As long as the eye can see into it's going all the way to the sunset. Just straight parade after parade with just missionary and doggy and cowboy, reverse cowboy, cowgirl, reverse cowgirl, wheelbarrow, lazy boy, all of it, dude. But straight up, you know what I'm saying? And then, then if we designate just 1 month to non-straight, and then 1 month to straight, and then we end up losing 10 months of nobody doing anything. 10 good months of everybody just like fucking sitting on their nuts and their ovaries, and it's not good for anybody to sit on their ovaries, man. I'm telling you, ladies and gents. So overall, how do I feel about it? I don't know, because like in a sense, I feel like in Western society, I feel like it's very much like it's norms. It's like it's normal if you see whatever's. Nobody really cares. So is it I think it's more, I think if anything, gay pride or like the Pride Month thing, I think it's more beneficial in terms of, I guess, if we're like in the nuance, talk about the nuance, baby. If we're talking about it, it's good to probably like have it so that it's out there in the world, because there are, I guess, parts of the world that, not I guess, I do know there are legit like parts of the world that like do kill people over like dick to dick, dude. If you're going to dick to dick in some places, off with their heads, legit, dude. There are places like the Iran, Saudi Arabia is not too cool with it. Russia, you hear stuff. A lot of parts of the world are still very, so overall, and I think it's all about that nuance. I think like as Western society, like because we, United States, Canada, parts of Western Europe, we tend to pride ourselves in a sense of like, oh, freedom, more or less, and more, I would say, if we're going like, say what it is, what it is, like the U.S. is like the representative, like I guess like the most freedoms allowed per individual, right? Like the most freedoms per person, the most free country in the world, that's what it is. So it's good to have, I guess, repping, but I'd say it's probably not even needed for like Western nations. I don't even know what I'm saying, dude. If any of this doesn't make any sense, because we're not here to make sense in pennies and dimes and loonies, baby. We're here to, I don't even know what we're here to do. We're here to have fun is what we're here to do, ladies and gents. So if anything, I think it's kind of like, because like you go outside, you see anybody on any regular day, dudes walking hand in hand, normsies, lesbians doing their thing, normsies. But in a sense, I guess it's good to have it exist, because like it gives other people who don't have the chance to go dick to, like, let's say somebody in the Middle East wants to go dick to dick, dude, and then there's a guy in a, sporting a heavy beard and maybe sandals, like, get over here, Hussein or Mohammed, we gotta go friggin', like, we gotta go get inside the cave, man. What are you doing? We gotta, like, this right here's the Taliban or something. I don't even know, dude. And we gotta do whatever. We gotta ride big Toyota trucks in the middle of the desert, boys. Grab your water and quit doing D to D action. If I see any of that, and you're like, man, that comes with consequences, or something. So it's good to, just have it be out there, so that if somebody is out there, like, debating whether or not, like, to join the Taliban or like do D to D, if I prefer like D to D or V to V or the Taliban's. So in that sense, it's good that it exists. Now here, because we don't have that, we don't have the guy saying, let's jump in a Toyota truck and go riding off into the desert, causing a lot of sand to just, that's not good for anybody in terms of like breathing. And like, if you're there, the people behind you, God, the amount of money you need to spend on windshield washer liquid alone will put a heavy dent in your pocket. But everybody's got their passions, everybody's got their whatevers. So all I'm saying is good to have options. But I guess here, if we're like the only thing I would say, I like people having a good time, and I don't give a fuck. I like people having a good time. I'm a big fan of people having a good time. Whatever. If you're of the age of consent, you're legally aged to do consensual things. Do whatever you want to do, whatever makes you happy, your best version out there. If it means going D to D, fucking do it, dude. V to V, ladies, if it makes you happy, makes you a better person, makes you, you know, reach your full potential, all for it. Only thing I don't even know if I've seen this inside, because I've never made it a point to go out, like, dude, but because it's a whole month, and sometimes you end up like walking down the street and you see like a little parade or a segment or a portion of the parade. The only thing I would suggest is just for like, I think we could, and it's good to have these conversations, because like we all tend to like, we have these just swings this way, swings that way, and hopefully we can be like swinging a little bit closer together, if that makes any sense. The only thing I would say, if you're having like a parade or anything, as long as like, if it's in public, I just don't want to see like grown loose cock in the middle of the street, just because that's, I don't think that's beneficial for anyone. Because first of all, there's like children outside, which is like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, let the costumes, I'm in super, just no loose cocks. I'm okay with a loose titty. If I'm being completely honest, I'm okay with a loose titty. I think actually, if I'm not mistaken, I may be wrong about this. Don't quote me on this. I'm not quite sure, but I think you can go topless in Toronto if you're a lady. Just putting it out there, but also nuance to that as well. Because like, you're like, yeah, all free my tit, and then, it's 11:30 at nighttime, and you hear a little right there. What is that behind the trash can? Is it a raccoon? Is it a squirrel? Or it's like a homeless person just fucking like. And that's another issue. So you see, it's nuance, and like, it's, we all gotta, I'm not saying don't go out there free. I'm all about, nip free. It's a nip. So if it's on me, it's on you. What's the diff? The diff is in my pants. That's the diff. But I'll try to manage. That's not your problem. That's a me problem, for being honest. But that doesn't even happen. But I'm just saying, generally speaking, that might be something you might face. You're like, oh, I'll just go free titty. I think then you'll see a portion of the male population going free wood, which is not exposing themselves, but getting aroused as to the visual effect. Because guys are visual creatures, as are women. I don't like these like, oh, guys are visual. Women are visual too. Women are, you look at a certain fella, and you look at a Jason Momoa in a movie, you're visually attracted to the fella. He's an interesting looking fella, he's talented, he's all this, that, and the other. So the women and men's, we've got eyes, we do the looky, and then some of us happen to have aroused, happen to have body parts that fucking get up and do a whole salute, and like, right there, thank you. And others, half the populace, happens to, in secret, get moist. So, if we're not gonna, nobody's calling anybody out on anything. I'm just saying, what were we even talking about, dude? Free the nip. But also, I say this as a man who's, one, not married and doesn't have children who are females. So, it's easy for me to say free the nip. One day, maybe a little, oh my God, what if I have a daughter? I take that all back. Ladies and gentlemen, do not free the nip. Jesus Christ. Okay, never mind. Oh, there. Oh, man. Good God. Oh. Compromise, right? That's what I'm saying. It's all about nuance. So maybe don't go full cock out in the, like everything else, I really don't care. Be happy, be all that. One aspect of it that I don't think is beneficial for anybody, and I thought about this, is like corporations coming in here and like doing corporations coming in and doing what corporations do, but corporations also do what people make the corporations do. And what do sometimes people do is we are monkeys. At the core of it, we are evolved monkeys, and monkeys, we like trickery, we like playing tricks, and we like being sneaky, and we enjoy being clever, if that makes any sense. Because smart is good, clever is fine to a certain degree, but you know what I'm talking about? A certain quality where you're like, I'm gonna do something here. So to get clever, I'm not a big fan of clever. I like smarts. I like, clever's good too. I guess for the friggin' nuance, dude. I guess today's episode's about nuance or something. But the point is, ladies and gents, I don't like it when like corporations get in there and start like, oh, you want to buy a car, get a free trans in this car. You're like, are you talking about extra transmission? Because I'll tell you, you're like, no, extra trans in the trunk. Dude, pop the trunk of this car, there's trans in it. I'm like, it's just a car. Dude, can I drive it? You're like, no, you can fuck it. You're like, but I just want to drive it. You're like, but did you know if you can fuck it too? I'm like, I'll take the car that just drives. So I don't like that. Because I think it doesn't actually help anybody in any community, but we're all one community. So that's the whole thing. That's the whole one. But also no to globalization. So no, we're not one community. God, so many nuances, so many contradictory thoughts. And it's like, are we one or are we not one? We are one. We're one. Deep here, inside here, emotional guy, one. Guy who has to go out there and in here and out there and be like, people do different things. People do different things. People do different things. Yeah, that's right. People do different things. So, nuance. Wicked, nuance. What are we even talking about? It's, I feel like sometimes companies, is what I'm trying to say, they take advantage of people and groups based on either, and I don't think they do this on some sort. I think again it's because of the trick. It's because we're the monkeys. We're the green little monkeys. We're the green little. We like the trickster. We like the little tricking. And if I can get something for less, or if if you're a company and it's occupied by people and the main goal is to make more profits, cut back cost on spending, whether it comes to manufacturing or proof of concepts and intellectual properties, and if you can cut back cost and give a product and make more monies, and then a little bit. What I've noticed over the years is that I don't know if this is, can we coin terms? I think we can. I'm gonna coin it right here. I don't think this has been coined. I don't even know what that means when you coin a term. Do you get a term stamped on a coin and they give you a coin? Because I'm coining potato chip bag syndrome. Very catchy. Potato chip bag syndrome. Potato chip BC bag, BCBS. It's hard of seeing BCBS, ladies and gents. BCBS, no wait. PC, potato chips bag syndrome. Where'd I get B from? Unless you're going with potatoes. Potato chip bag syndrome. Potato chip bag syndrome. PCBS. Very simple. So it just rolls off the tongue, right? The PCBS, potato chip bag syndrome, is where potato chip manufacturing companies over the years, they used to give you a big bag of chips, and it was filled mainly with chips. And then little by little, you start opening these chip bags, and you're like, it seems to be less chip, more air. Where are my chips at? And you're like, all right, fine, I get it. A little bit here, a little bit there. Okay, fine. And a couple of years goes by. A little bit less chips, more air. All right, and you're like, and then they come. They're like, trust the science, man. You need more air for the chips to remain intact. You're like, okay, that makes sense. Okay. And then you take it, and then you come back 5 years goes by, and you're like, half the bag is filled with air, man. Where are my chips at? And they're like, that's why you're eating so much chips. They're not even good for you. Like, why are you selling it then? So it becomes a thing, and that's what I notice sometimes companies tend to do. And that's just, again, it's an analogy. Let it be a symbolic representation. Just like today, this morning, I saw a little bunny hop. Just did a little hop, and I'm like, oh, bunnies, what do they symbolize? Good fortune, compassion, fertility, which is not applicable to my case, but maybe you're pregnant. So let the chip be a symbolic representation of what corporations and companies sometimes do. They're like, we like to, instead of focusing in on the quality of the product, instead of making a car that'll, go a million miles, or instead of making a pair of jeans that you're gonna have to, if you want these jeans to rip, you're gonna have to fucking scissor in these jeans for them to rip, because that's what it is, man. You used to buy jeans and they used to last longer, and now they don't. And now they're like selling it to you as more flexible jeans. I don't want my jeans. I want to work. I want to break my jeans in like a father who would break in their kids so that they would become successful at something, but also rob them of their childhood. That's what I want to do with my jeans. I don't want some jean that's like half denim, half polyester, 10% latex, 5% polyaspirin. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't need these rub-on jeans. I don't need this painted on jean because it rips. The paint fades away as soon as I jizz on my pants because it's made of paint. Not that I would, but I'm just saying in case of, you never know. I've heard of people, I'm not gonna name them, but again, people I now look up to on in a different format. You might even anybody might have a accident. You might pee your pants, dude, in a lady out there. It might happen to the best of us. And what if your pants are not durable enough? God, but then you keep going, because we're not the type that'll leak and stop. We're the type that leaks and keeps going, baby. So the point is, instead of coming in with the good quality product, sometimes I see corporations going in there and like waving flags, saying things that don't even concern them, instead of focusing on the product. Like if I want like ice cream, I just want the best ice cream. You know what I mean? I don't care about because that's air. That's the air. Because when I'm consuming, and that's the thing, and that actually is. And that's the thing, that's the short-sightedness of the people within the companies, because they think they're like, we gotta, the market's this and that, we gotta penetrate a new populace. And there's only a certain number of people on earth. There's only so many ways you can penetrate. And we're all being penetrated. And it's good to penetrate, but penetrate and give a good product. Don't just penetrate and be like, look at us trying to, it's basically taking your attention away from the actual product and getting a fake check mark of quality because they're saying they do X, Y, and Z, which has nothing to do with their product or services. It just makes you automatically is supposed to make you feel as if they're a good company. Well, this company is putting up this flag and saying this thing, or putting up what in this particular month, because they think that and that's short-sighted. And if you go back to it, if you actually produce good things, people will come to you. And I try to do that with as little as this is, whatever. I just try to be genuine, be authentic, put it all out there. Brain porn right there, raw. Touch it, feel it. You might like it. You might be like, oh, not for me. And then you might take a hike if it's not for you, because that's cool too. And then there's other things you can touch. And whatever, dude, not everything's supposed to be touched. Also, it's just meant to be looked at sometimes. So enjoy looking. But also, I'm just saying that doesn't benefit anybody, because it actually doesn't create genuine understanding and respect for each other, because that's what on a regular basis when people are interacting, you respect each other mutually and all that jazz. But once you see products their quality's diminishing and all that, and all you see is the social equity check marks going up, and you're like, okay, but what about the actual product? You're like, well, don't worry about that, we checked off all these other things. So you're like, I don't care about that. I'm buying a house, I'm buying a car, I'm buying shoes, I'm buying pants. Doesn't have to be about social causes. And those actually kind of I feel like they're more divisive, and I don't think anybody's doing this on a conscious level. I think their aim is to genuinely penetrate new markets, make new, be maybe more inclusive and all that, but inclusivity is not done by exclusivity, because that is the opposite of inclusivity. Does that make any sense? I don't even know what I'm saying, dude. It's Friday and I feel good that it's a month for you to go and fucking eat that box, lady. Fucking nom 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 nom. Oh man, and I'm you guys know I'm a big fan of like big supporter of the lesbian community, dude. I've I don't know how many videos I've watched on I you know, and we all give back in different forms. We all do, and that's I don't like to. I'm not the type that does anything and says, "Hey, look at the thing that and that's, but so I feel like it was worthy of mentioning. So, ladies and gents, I came in here today just wanting to thank you all for being a part of my journey. Thank you for letting me be a part of your journey. Thank you for being a part of my life and letting me be a part of yours. And thank you for your patience too. That's what and I hope to just do better, grow at it, make things fun and looser and as loose as it gets, baby. That's what we do around here. And it's the little thing. You gotta enjoy the little things, whatever it is, whatever it is, the little things. Like Joe Biden, for example, breaking a Guinness World Record for the most falls recorded on camera by one person. Like that is. I don't know if people realize it, but that is comedy gold. That is television. Can't even. That's magic. People look at that and they're like, "What is it? How does he do it? How does he manage to, how does he pull steps and just the ground towards himself? So how does he attract tripping? Like how does he do it? How does and it's I don't know what it is, man. Hocus pocus. Please let POTUS stay focused. I don't even know what I'm saying, dude, but all I'm saying is that it is it's the little things that count. So if man, he just took another fall recently. He just took like literally maybe like yesterday or the day before. I don't even know. It's just recent, but he just fell. I believe he was giving a speech at a Air Force graduation ceremony or some sort, if I'm not mistaken again. And he fell. And I'm like, and I got interested in people like, and I genuinely went online. I'm like, what is the most number of times one individual has fallen? And Google wouldn't recognize what I'm trying to say because it thought I'm talking about what are the longest distances that people have free fallen without a parachute. It gave me the answer to that, which was crazy. I found a couple of people who have apparently fallen to the ground thousands of feet and have managed to survive. Different scenarios, airplanes going down thousands of feet. Wild. And they broke bones and shit, but still survived. A couple of them happen to be like World War II veterans, if I'm not mistaken. Airplanes like, lost engine, and they took a tumble thousands of feet and landed. And that's the answer he gave me. I was looking for what's the most number of falls by a person, like what's the most number of trips, who's tripped the most in life, like not using like meditation, not using any sort of like herbs or just like just step it. I think he legit has in terms of like recorded history. I think that's some, like, say what you will, but that is a record. I don't think I've seen anybody, man, woman, animal, goat, lizard, a monkey, llama, a panda, a giraffe. I can't think of any other person or creature or animal who's fallen more than Joe Biden. Now, is it hilarious in the moment? Absolutely. Do I want people falling? No. When it happens to any of us, is it fucking hilarious? Yes. When it keeps happening, is it even more hilarious? Yes. Is it a good look overall for us in terms of, because like and I'm not saying like I'm there now, but like I'm gonna some things are like inevitable, like, and I'm just like, and that's what it is, baby. Overall, I like all of us to be doing, because like, again, right here, emotional fella right there, here, here's gas. That's emotions right there. That's just gas, dude. That's just gas. And by the way, because I've been consuming more dairy via Nesquik cereals now, the diarrhea subsided, which is nice, but I just let the longest fart of my life rip the other day without anybody here to witness it, which kind of, it's again one of those situations I don't like to, toot my own horn and like talk about it, but it was a long one, and I was just like, man, if only there were just even one person to like hear this. Do you ever have one of those, like one of those long farts that'll just surprise you, that just keeps going, and you're like, yeah. No, I'm talking about like a long, it just went on. I'm like, where did and it's that dairy, dude. So that was pretty tight. No diarrhea, but I just legit, a couple of days ago, I had the longest fart of my life. It just went. Maybe even a little bit longer than that, which was crazy. And I'm like, man, if only, again, at least one more person, because that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. If a man or a woman has explosive diarrhea in the middle of the woods and there's no one to hear it or see it, did he even have explosive diarrhea in the woods? And with that note, ladies and gentlemen, I love you. Thank you for joining me once again. It's been a so production. Glad you made it with your boy Rob Sadger. Where can you find these videos? Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, dropped on Instagram. Follow me there. Subscribe on YouTube for the full-length videos. Check out patreon.com/Rob Sadger if you'd like to fiscally support the show. Love you all. Have a great weekend. Talk soon. Peace out.